We are back with more relationship drama, and it has a lot of red flags. Let's just hope these people didn't ignore them for too long. First story, my wife appears to be getting close to a coworker. This story came December 11th, 2025. My 42 male wife, 42 female, and I have been together for 12 years and have 2 children. Things are generally good. Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but more recently, things have been fine. My wife's workplace is quite social, and they have almost weekly after-work drink activities. The average age of the workplace appears to be in their early 30s. I've noticed my wife lately seems eager to keep up with the younger ones. She has seemingly been putting more effort into her appearance and is always very eager to attend any social functions, and comes home clearly having had quite a few drinks. I have always encouraged her to be social, but lately I've noticed that she is communicating regularly with a younger male, 29 male, at her workplace. This guy is only around 29, and I will call him Adam. The last 2 social outings, Adam picked up my wife from home and dropped her off. The last occasion was last week. My wife came home around 11:30 p.m. and was quite drunk. I will state that she did initiate intimacy between us, but while I trust my wife to be faithful, I can't help but start thinking there might be a slight infatuation, possibly in both directions between the 2 of them. I've struggled a bit in the past with retroactive jealousy, which highly annoyed my wife. My wife is very attractive, especially for her age. I am aware that she would receive attention from men. I'm also aware that it is normal and human for her to enjoy this attention while still remaining faithful. I'm just not sure where the acceptable line is. I don't want to raise anything with her yet, as I would appear as controlling, jealous, and very insecure, which I know are very unattractive qualities. I guess my suspicions were somewhat confirmed recently via methods I'm not proud of. You went through her phone. While my wife was in the shower, I briefly snooped on her phone. I quickly looked at the messages between my wife and Adam. They did appear to be fairly innocent, but slightly playful. But when I looked at the last message between my wife and her best friend, my wife had recently sent a photo to her friend of Adam along with the text, "This is Adam." Clearly, my wife had spoken about this guy to her best friend. The photo was of this guy working out at the gym. It must have been taken from his social media. The fact that the photo was of this guy working out indicates to me that she must have mentioned him to her friend in a way that suggested he was good looking. I feel like I can't bring up anything with my wife, primarily due to not wanting to expose how I know she sent a picture of this guy to her friend. I know it's completely normal for her to find someone attractive and perhaps even enjoy flirting. I genuinely don't believe anything physical has happened, but I'm wondering what others' opinions would be on where the line is crossed. Aside from my concerns, our relationship is actually in a good place at the moment. We have been having sex more regularly than normal. On the weekend, she gave me a cuddle, told me she loved me, and actually started tearing up. Sometimes that can mean that they're feeling guilty for things they're doing. But not going to jump there yet. We're going to jump to conclusions. I'm starting to wonder if the increased libido has any correlation to what appears to be a slight infatuation with this younger coworker. Any input from women would be greatly appreciated. We do have an update though. So why don't we find out what happened? Ooh, it's recent, January 11th. 2026, 1 month later. Unfortunately, things have taken a turn. I decided to talk to my wife about being uncomfortable being driven home by Adam from social drinks with colleagues. My wife dismissed any concerns I had, adding that she likes Adam as a friend only and that she treats him like a younger brother. I don't know if we'd be sending like gym pics of guys if we saw them as a brother, but okay. I didn't mention anything about the phone snooping, so I was surprised and happy when my wife volunteered that she sent photos of him to a friend. She mentioned apparently they were discussing if he was suitable to set up with another younger female friend of theirs. Okay, that could be true. My wife did add that she didn't want it to be the case and that she is not allowed to have male friends. friends. I explained I'm well aware and supportive of male friends, but I felt like it was obvious from my perspective that this kid was interested in her and she might be slightly naive to not seeing this. Perhaps leading him along. Everything was fine, but I could tell my wife was perhaps slightly frustrated at my views. This occurred just prior to New Year's. I'll add that our sex life continued to be great, possibly the best in our entire relationship. This was until the weekend after New Year's when the following happened. My wife had a planned catch up with a friend that she sent the picture of Adam to. As normal, I took care of the kids and I waited for my wife to return home. She explained that she wasn't going to have a big night, but then she returned home at 1 a.m. She was dropped off at home from her female friend. She explained that after dinner, they knew some of her work girlfriends were out at a bar, so they caught up for a few drinks. My wife rattled off the names of some of the work girlfriends who were there. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. My wife wanted sexy time, and I was happy to oblige. However, it was after having intimacy that I first noticed something was off. My wife went back to rambling about the names of the girls she met up with, and it seemed odd to me. As though in rambling, there was something she was drawing attention away from. I waited until she was back in the room and I asked, "Was Adam there?" She paused uncomfortably and said he was, but only for a short time before he left. She added that she had no idea he was going to be there. I pointed out that she conveniently left his name out of all the people she met up with, so I said to her that I didn't believe it. I asked if this guy texts her and even asked to see the messages. As though she had nothing to hide, my wife quickly showed her messages. The last messages were from Adam and showed the two of them discussing which bar they were meeting at. Oh, she just said she didn't know if he was gonna be there. She literally planned this with him. I pointed out this directly contradicted what she had just told me. She elaborated by saying she had no idea he would be out until she received the message from him. She further added that when she first heard he was out, she was happy as the younger girl she was hoping to set him up with was also there. I left it at that, but dwelling on it all night, I woke up feeling like she had completely and deliberately deceived me. I told her this and I added that it's completely dishonest to suggest to me that she had no idea this guy would be there. I know all the girls from her work were there and it appears that they do socialize in a group, but the messages which were organizing the meeting location were between Adam and my wife. In my view, this shows that Adam was there primarily to meet up with my wife. Since this, it has all gone really pear-shaped. My wife changed the password on her phone that night. Oh boy. I'm sleeping in the spare room and it seems our relationship is over. I'm being blamed for blowing up our relationship due to lack of trust and jealousy. She pointed out that her work friends laughed at hearing my suspicions because of how ridiculous they are. I'm portrayed as the jealous and controlling husband to her friends and family. My wife said the only reason that she wasn't directly forthcoming about him being there is because I read into things too much and that she didn't want to ruin the chance of having intimacy when she got home. At this stage, my wife feels that we should stay in the house together for the next few months for the sake of the kids until we work out what is happening. I feel like maybe my wife is right. Maybe my jealousy is too much. I'm old and I'll never find someone who I love like my wife. I don't want anyone else, but when trust is gone, do I just lie down and take it? I've been cheated on before and maybe that does make me too jealous. Something's off here. She's 42. Why does she care so much to be friends like a brother to this 29-year-old? Like when you're married with kids and to spend a lot of time out drinking and meeting up with this person. I don't know. That's not what I would want in my marriage, but like, I don't know. You guys are married? Some of y'all gotta be married out there. Give us some advice. I feel like every marriage has different boundaries too, like based on the couple and the people. But let me know. Next story. Tried to make it work, broke up 6 months later. I shamefully snooped and I found out more after the fact. Stuck in panic mode. I don't wish this life and relationship upon anyone. Well, that's not true. Upon some people, but not you guys. My girlfriend and I had been together for 2.5 years. I'm 28 female, she is 25 female. We used to talk about getting married and I really wanted to marry her. I know, we're young, we weren't together for all that long, but no one has ever made me feel seen the way she did. 2025 was a rough year for our relationship. I was working constantly all summer, our work schedules were complete opposite, and she fell into a depression that I wasn't around enough to support her in. I didn't realize until after the fact, and I failed her as much of a partner in many ways that I am deeply remorseful for and ashamed of. Neither of us had very many friends leading up to that summer, as we were guilty of getting stuck on girlfriend island. Codependent, basically. We were both very lonely that summer. In July, we made a new friend, the new girl in town. We will call her Naomi. We both really liked this girl, clicked immediately, and felt like we were finally building a friend group that we had been missing. My girlfriend June was thrilled, and I was thrilled for her. She and Naomi really clicked. June was making plans with her all the time. I was included a few times, but mostly it was happening without me because of my work schedule. At first, I didn't mind. I was just happy for her. Then I started to feel left out. I really liked Naomi too, and I was excited to be her friend too. I shared this with June and I told her I would appreciate it if she tried to make plans that I could be a part of more often. She was understanding and said that she hadn't meant to exclude me. She was just excited to have a new friend. Weeks go by, we go on vacation with my family. I notice that she's texting Naomi constantly, like nonstop. I have never been jealous or suspicious. I used to make a point of looking away if she got a text while she was showing me something on her phone because I wanted her to have complete privacy. That being said, I noticed during vacation that whenever I looked towards her, whenever she was texting, she would suddenly turn her phone away from me. I got freaked out. I ended up confessing to her that I was actually becoming jealous of her friendship with Naomi. I was crying and I was apologetic. I felt horrible for being jealous and suspicious. She was somewhat reassuring and apologetic, but her response made me realize that something in our relationship had been fractured. A week after we get home, we go to a bar with Naomi and another one of our friends. She rode with Naomi and said friend, and I will meet them there after I got off work. June hadn't been drinking all summer, but ended up getting drunk that night. I made a comment to her while dancing about how I wanted her to dance with her hips with me. Dancing is a particularly sensitive subject for her, and I unintentionally deeply insulted her with my comment. She ran to the bathroom in tears. I was left on the dance floor feeling guilty and confused. I went after her, apologized, and the rest of the night was ruined. I had only been there for about 30 minutes, but she ended up having our friend drive her home because she felt sick and she was still upset. I was feeling hurt and disappointed with how the night had gone since I had barely gotten to spend time with her or our friends. I stayed for one more drink and then I went home. When I got home, she was passed out in front of the toilet. She does not handle alcohol very well. I was freaked out for her safety and I brought her water and I took care of her while she threw up. And then I got her into bed. I had this gut feeling that something more was wrong. I know I'm wrong for this, but once she fell asleep, I took her phone and I checked her messages. She had sent Naomi a text while we were at the bar saying, "Seltzerly made me cry, I'm in the bathroom." I was crushed and humiliated by that. I didn't read any more of her text with Naomi, and instead I checked her texts with her mom. She had been texting her about how she developed feelings for Naomi and didn't know what to do. I was devastated. I left the apartment immediately. When I came back the next morning, I told her I had looked through her phone and what I had seen. She cried, she apologized, she assured me that nothing physical had ever happened between her and Naomi. Within a week, we had reconciled and agreed to stay together and fix the problems that had arisen. I'm skipping the months following because it doesn't matter. Ultimately, we didn't work out and she broke up with me days before Christmas. I didn't want to, but I knew it was time. I had to travel out of town literally the day after we broke up, and we agreed not to communicate while I was gone. When I got back, it was hard and sad and strained, but we were managing to coexist. I started staying at my parents' house. Then 3 days pass and I stop at mine in June's apartment early in the morning to grab some necessities. She's not there, but all the lights are on and our cats haven't been fed. This freaks me out because I know she has impulsive thoughts and a tendency, to self-harm. harm. I texted her to just let me know she was okay, and I called, but I didn't get an answer. I went to work, worried sick. An hour later, she texts me and apologizes for worrying me and said she got too high while hanging out with friends the night before and had to crash at their place. Immediately, I'm thinking, oh my God, what if she went to Naomi's? But I'm like, don't be crazy. Of course she wouldn't do that so soon. Of course she would. She likes her. I was wrong. That afternoon, I asked who she was hanging out with. She tells me about Naomi and her roommate. I fell apart immediately, just sobbing. For some reason, that felt like a more serious betrayal than anything from this summer. After months of trying to make our relationship work and mend things, as soon as she's ready to end it, she immediately goes to her emotional affair partner, who, by the way, is now dating someone else. Oh, Naomi isn't single anymore. Interesting. I told her that this was a deliberate choice and one that she knew was disrespectful and inconsiderate. I told her I didn't want to see her or hear from her. I move out on the 21st. 2 days ago, I'm at the apartment getting my things together while she's not there. I'm getting my stuff out of her bedroom and I see a journal just sitting on the bed. Strange, because she takes it with her everywhere. I'm not proud of this. I am wrong for this, and I regret it. But I read it. All of her entries were about Naomi. She is an artist and has done several sketches of her. She was detailing her sexual fantasies about Naomi, talking about how she loved certain details about her body, how Naomi was the first thing she thought about every morning when she woke up. These entries were from after we had reconciled and stayed together, and she and Naomi had gone no contact. I felt sick. It has been days and my body has not left a panicked state. This feels like a betrayal beyond this summer. I can't believe the girl I loved more than anything was sleeping in the same bed as me and touching me while having these thoughts about another girl. I started snooping more and I found a playlist she made about Naomi literally days before my birthday. My head is spinning, my body keeps going cold, and I get a roaring in my ears. I've eaten maybe 3 single meals in the past 4 days. I haven't confessed this to June. I feel so lied to. Why would she make me believe we had a chance for 6 months when that was how she felt about Naomi? Why didn't she just end things back when I first found out? She says that she was scared of losing me, but why did she even care about me when she treated me like this? Yeah, this isn't good, but we got an update, which I also don't think is going to be good. But we'll find out. It's hydration station time first, though. Grab your beverage. You should drink some water today. Cheers. Starting a new thing where I'm sending gift baskets to strangers on the internet because, you know, I want to give back to people where I can, strangers, people who follow my content. So I'm putting together a little Galentine's Day gift basket as I go every time to Dollarama. This is it so far. If you know, you already know. But if you want to be a part of this world of mine outside of like my storytelling videos, you're gonna have to follow my second channel that I started, you guys. I'm so sorry. It's at Life with Joss, or follow me on Instagram, TikTok, whatever you have, because that's where all the details are gonna be. I might do like 2, I might do an Easter one. I kind of want to just do it at least like every month. Give back in some kind of way, you know? So yeah. All right, so the update came 2 weeks later. This morning, my ex confessed that she and affair partner, Naomi, were now seeing each other. A few commenters on my last post suggested that I reach out to Naomi's girlfriend, but I was hesitant. Well, today I got a message request from Naomi's now ex-girlfriend. We will use a fake name for the girlfriend as well, and that will be Annie. Annie messaged me to say that she had learned about the history between June and Naomi, and that shortly after she and Naomi had decided to be exclusive, Naomi texted her to say that she was actually seeing someone else. Annie asked who, and Naomi admitted that it was June. Turns out, days after they went exclusive was when June went over to stay the night at Naomi's. Amy and I compared timelines and found out that June and Naomi had been lying to both of us for weeks. June lied to me about whether or not she and Naomi were seeing each other, and Naomi lied to Annie about her feelings for June, saying that she wouldn't want to be with her even if she was available. Well, as soon as June was available, both she and Naomi jumped at each other. I don't really know what to say other than I am utterly disgusted and appalled at that behavior. I hate that Annie got dragged into this twisted mess of June and Naomi, but I am so glad that she reached out to me. I feel like I got a lot more answers from her than I ever did or would have from June. She and Naomi are deeply selfish, immature people and have been inconceivably careless with other people's emotions. They're probably perfect for each other, but I hope it blows up in their faces. Truth be told, I'm not surprised here. Not one cell in my body is surprised by this outcome. I'm so sorry. Next story. My husband left me at a friend's cabin in the woods. What is this? The title of a horror movie? That's one of my favorite, by the way. The original, like the one with, isn't it with Hemsworth? Anyways, no one cares. But if you haven't seen it, go watch it. My husband and I visited our friend's cabin for a celebration. My husband is more of an introvert and I am more of an extrovert. I am more of an extrovert. I'm hungry. Especially when it comes to being around our close friends who I have known for many years. He was brought into our friend group about 3 years ago, and that is how we've met. We've been together for 1.5 years now. We arrived at the cabin early, and when everyone else started to arrive, including the host of the cabin, he started to get very quiet and reserved. He doesn't usually like larger group settings, but this was just a group of our 10 mutual friends that we've known for years. No one new or different. On Saturday morning, he said that he wanted to take my car to go skiing on the mountain before everyone woke up. I thought that sounded like a great idea for him to get some exercise and do something that he really enjoyed. He left early in the morning and said that he would be back by 12 to 1 p.m. 12 p.m. turned into 1 p.m., which turned into 2 p.m. When I called him, it kept going to voicemail. I started to get concerned, but just tried to tell myself that he probably didn't have any service up on the mountain. Once 4 p.m. hit, I started getting really worried, calling his phone with no answer. Finally, around 4:30 to 5, I get a text message saying that he was home. He had gone skiing, decided that he didn't want to come back, took my car, and left me at the cabin. When I asked him how I was going to get home, he just told me that he already contacted our friend and he said he would drive me. When I approached this friend, he said that my husband doesn't even have his phone number and definitely did not contact him to ask. Yes, I was surrounded by friends and someone could probably drive me home, but it still felt really crappy to have been left behind with honestly no regard to how I would get home or how leaving me without telling me the plan would make me feel. If he didn't want to be there, he could have just let me know. If he didn't want to come, he could have just stayed home. But this made me feel abandoned and horrible, especially for the friend who invited us to the cabin, who I now had to tell that my husband just left me here for them to figure out what to do with. I'm just not sure what to do with this. My friends think this is really crappy and somewhat out of character for him, but they are frustrated too because they invited him to join the celebration and he just left without saying anything to anyone. I guess I'm not sure what to do here or how to talk to him about this. Whenever I try, he just shuts me down and walks away. How do I approach this? My answer is approach that with talking and communication, but if he's not giving it, what do you do? Let me know all your thoughts and feelings. We'll chat in the comment section. Stay classy out there, stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.